Hey everybody, and welcome back to 100% Mags. As you can see up on screen now, I am joined by Calvin from FPL Penguin, fantasy football channel on YouTube. Of course, I'll allow him to introduce himself as well. But we are, of course, recording this ahead of the Liverpool game. And of course, it is a pre-record, but still get involved in the chat. I do love to see the comments, what get mentioned ahead of the game. Also, do put comments down in the comments section below as well. And don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe as well. But without further ado, I'd like to welcome Calvin to the channel.
Hey, mate. Hey, guys. Thanks for having me on. We're looking forward to this pre-recorded video. Thank you, Carl, for having me on, mate.
No worries, mate. So we'll go into this game against yourselves, and you have just come off the back of course, a 1-0 win, 67th minute goal from Mo Salah on a penalty against, of course, a former legend in Steven Gerrard, or Stevie G, as Liverpool fans like to call him. And, of course, we are going into this one on the back of, as we record it, just a 4-0 defeat tonight to Leicester. And I've got to say, it's not looking good at the moment after that result for us Newcastle United fans. And, of course, the run of fixtures we've got coming up as well ain't looking good. We've got Liverpool, we've got the two Manchesters, and then, of course, we do have the game, I believe, against Everton as well at the end of December as well. So there is some pretty tough games ahead. What are your thoughts, of course, Calvin, about, first of all, your game against Aston Villa?
Yeah, I've watched. Obviously, I couldn't watch the game, couldn't get a live stream or anything like that. But I watched the extended highlights, which are always very good if you find them on YouTube. And there was Villa defending very, very well, and then there was some chances as well where we didn't finish off the game. Finish off our chances. A lot of the shots going across over the bar. But I knew it'd be a tight game. Gerrard, the reunion, he's back. The man himself, exactly. Captain Fantastic. Great to see him back. Great to see him back, and he did fantastic at Rangers, getting the title after so long. All of it being about Celtic rebuilding Rangers and getting them back to where they belong and on top. But then he moved to Villa, and great to see him back. He made it tough. He did make it tough. I thought it was a penalty. Mings. It was a clumsy challenge from Mings on was it Salah, and then it was 1-0. But they did make it tough. And like I said, I knew it'd be tough. And it's been about since Gerrard's taken over. It's been all about the defenders. Mings been getting some goals. Konsa, Ashley Young with some assists at target. So the defenders are really thriving under Stevie G at the minute. But we could have done better under Villa. But they did make it tough, like I said, with the defender and all that. So, I'm as I said, I'm looking forward to the Newcastle game now. We're doing very, very well. I predict, very, very tight, title race. Chelsea up there, City up there maybe, and it's going to be very, very tight. It really is, and just got to see what the rest of the season. We're near enough halfway through the season, so we know the AFCON is coming up with Salah and Mane going there. That's two of our key players. Also, Keita going as well. Matip. So you're taking, especially Mane and Salah, two of our key players out of that attack. So that could be, what our season's going to be like for the second half of the season. Only for two weeks, it's gone 2 matches they'll miss. I think it's Brentford and Palace. But they're still going to be tough games. Brentford, you see what they did 3-3 against us. Palace, bit of a bogey team. So it will be interesting, but I think hopefully without them, we can get through those games and hopefully get the points, hopefully. So, yeah.
Yeah, just touching on what you said there about the Premier League table, it is looking quite tight at the top of the table. I'll try and bring it up on screen now if I can for people who want to actually see that. So this is the Premier League table up on screen now, of course. And as you can see, it is looking pretty tight at the top of the table. You've got Manchester City with just a point ahead of Liverpool there at the top of the table. Chelsea just behind them with a point behind as well. And, of course, Liverpool have got some reasonable fixtures coming up. Of course, you've got the game against us. But then you've got, you've got the... when I get it to come up, 1 minute there. You've got, of course, after us, you've got the game against Tottenham. So that's going to be a tricky game, I believe, for Liverpool. Of course, you've got the game against Leeds United, which is a home game. Then you do have a game against Leicester as well to end off the December fixtures. Just have a quick look at the first fixture. Of course, Chelsea for the first fixture of next year as well. So, yeah, like you say, it is looking pretty tight at the top half of the table. I think Liverpool will be looking at some of them games like Tottenham, Chelsea. They will be looking towards some of them games. Obviously, the game against Newcastle is going to be a big one. It's always one of them games, where both teams are quite challenging against each other. Look at the games in the 90s. Really good games there. Stan Collymore scoring the goal as well, which to this day, I still say that he was actually on some sort of substance or something, because just look at his eyes. It's exactly like Maradona, when he ran towards the camera. It just didn't look right to me, but that's history at the end of the day. Of course, that's all in the past, water under the bridge. But, of course, we've got some games coming up as well. Some pretty tough games, like I said. We've got the game against yourself. We've got the 2 games against the Manchesters, which have got to come as well. So we'll have to see how things go. It's one of them things at the moment with Newcastle. We've just gotten the first win on the board. We're finding it at the moment a little bit hard to get that run, of wins together. And these fixtures probably ain't going to help things. 16th of December, we'll play against you on the Thursday coming up, of course, at Anfield as well. That's not going to help matters. Gladfully, we do have the 2 Manchesters at home. Of course, the 19th of December for the game against Man City. And then, of course, we take on Man United on the 27th of December, the day after Boxing Day. So it's going to be a tough road ahead for we'll have to see what we can do coming up. For me, tonight's game, or, the game against Leicester, should have been a win. We should have picked up the 3 points in this game against Leicester, which, of course, was a must-win game for we, and to build that confidence going into this game against Liverpool. But we've lost that chance because of course, a referee, which, if you've watched the review, you'll know my thoughts on that one. If you haven't, then do go watch it. It is a good watch, if I do say so myself. And, it's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy, but we do have that added bonus, of the January transfer window. But I want to get your thoughts, Calvin, on, if you happen to see it, of course, the game against Leicester tonight. What were your thoughts on that?
I didn't really watch it as such, but I did see some of the goals with because, as you know, I do play fantasy football, and I have James Maddison in my team, and he just looked very, very good. He's one of those good players for pulling the strings for Leicester. But I just think if we talk about Newcastle overall, like I had you on my stream, one of my streams in the past, and you've got Eddie Howe, you've got new owners, you got rid of that idiot Ashley, and you're rebuilding this great big club in Newcastle, and it would be really, really sad to see someone like Newcastle go down again to the Championship in like 3 times in like 13 years, is it?
Yeah.
You're second from the bottom, you're same points as Norwich. It'd be interesting to see what you do in the January transfer window, what these owners do to make an impression. They want to make an impression. They want to show you that they're not like Ashley. They want to show you that they have got money and they're willing to spend big, but sensible with it, but spend big. Eddie Howe, I've always liked him. Very good at Bournemouth. He took some time off. He left Bournemouth. And I think, they've got the right manager. I don't know anything about these owners, but they look decent. Only time will tell. See how they do with you lot. But you have to get through this busy Christmas period, and that's you have got some tough fixtures. You got us. Fair enough. Last season it was 2 draws, was it, against us? 0-0, 1-1.
Yeah.
But I think, I still think you make it tough for us. But I think your confidence probably might have dipped today. I think there's that confidence. It would have helped if you did get something today against Leicester. It might have helped you. But Eddie Howe's got his work cut out. He definitely has. But it'd be interesting, like I said, going January transfer window, he gets his own players in. He knows Wilson, he knows Fraser, he knows Richie, but he needs more. He needs more at Newcastle. He needs more experience. You were linked with, you're still linked probably with Diaz from Porto. He was doing well in the Champions League. He'd be a lovely signing for you. He'd be a good upgrade from Fraser upwards, or have on the other side of the wing. You need quality. You need somebody who can finish chances off. And it will be busy. It will be a tough one. Like Liverpool game, I expect still a tough game. I think it'd be a tough game, but I think our attack. I'm not trying to brag, but I think we've scored like the most goals so far this season out of all the teams. And is it 45? Yeah, 45. And it's all down to like Salah. Great teamwork. Great teamwork all around the park. Henderson doing fantastic as well in that midfield, being the great captain. Trent bombing up the pitch, playing as a midfielder. He's playing a lot better this season. Trent Alexander-Arnold. And you guys will have a really tough game. Obviously, you had Leicester. It will be a tough game. So I think you will make it tough, but I think it will be tough. You will fight tough. Your defenders will fight tough. You'll need to be at your best to actually keep someone like Mane and Salah quiet. I know Firmino's back as well in training, so he could possibly make an appearance. Jota probably just around the corner, come back from that little injury he had. So I know he came back. He came on the pitch at weekend, but it's going to be interesting. You're going to have a very, very tough game ahead of you in that game. So yeah, it's going to be a tough one, mate. It really is.
Like you said, it's going to be a really tough game to go into because, Anfield's always been one of them grounds, we don't have the best of luck at. We've had some good results in the past, but, looking at this game, we do have the positives, of Callum Wilson. He always likes to get in there, try and get himself a goal in the game. Joe Linton as well, just coming on leaps and bounds with Eddie Howe, managing him. And I said that, when Steve Bruce was the manager, I says that we just need a decent manager who knows what he's doing with the players to come in and be able to, address the situation that was going on at the club. These players are now being put through their strengths. They're being pushed on their weaknesses, and they're really being took to the limit a lot more than what they were, when Steve Bruce was here as the manager. They're getting a lot more training sessions now. You can see the fitness levels are up with the players as well, so they're not tiring out halfway through the match or 20 minutes into a match. They're showing a lot more energy out on the pitch. Tonight, again, Joe Linton, absolutely amazing performance again by him, holding the ball up well. Unfortunate, again, like I say, the referee just very one-sided in the game. But we'll have to see what happens in the game going up against yourselves, of course. If the referee is favourable towards Liverpool, or whatever happens. But as a Newcastle United fan, a lot of people say, and I've said it quite a few times on my channel, the referees always cost Newcastle games. And I get called out for it right, left and centre, but at the end of the day, if it's truth and it's a fact, you're going to have to say it. You're going to have to point it out. You can't, just blanket over it like you see with the likes of Gary Neville or the other pundits. They just completely cover the fact that, there's really dodgy officiating, and not just with Newcastle neither, but like all games this week have been pretty dodgy calls given in them. There was 8 penalties given this week in the Premier League, and to my knowledge, that is probably the most penalties I've ever seen given in a week of football, to be honest. And then it's not like there were, decisions that didn't cost people neither. These decisions were very vital decisions, and they were making them out of rash opinions. They weren't looking at it properly on VAR. Like, the game against Leicester, I keep going back to that, I know, but the game against Leicester tonight, that decision that was made for to give a penalty is absolutely diabolical. It was a disgraceful decision, and then you look at the game against Burnley in West Ham, which also played tonight. There was a shout for a penalty in that one. That one should have been given in that game, but the one in the Newcastle game shouldn't have been given. So, where do they draw the line on the decisions that they're making? Because this can cost teams their status in the Premier League. Look at, the likes of Bournemouth, for instance. Aston Villa and Sheffield United's decision in their game cost Bournemouth their place in the Premier League. So it's one of them things, it's all about what happens on the day. Hopefully, we can come away from this game against Liverpool with something in the bag, maybe it's a point, but I might be stretching things there, because it's one of them games where, you just don't know what's going to happen. Like you say, we picked up 2 draws last season, which we did manage to pick up 2 draws last season against, of course, yourselves. One at St James's Park, one at Anfield. And, if that happens again, I'd happily take it, because that's a point on the board, in a game where we're pretty much writing it off. Yes, it's not Bruce, it's Eddie Howe. He's going to be playing front foot football. But with the way, things have been going of late, is that going to be enough? Is that going to be enough to be able to just play front foot football and hopefully, pick up the 3 points in the game? What's your thoughts on that, Calvin?
I don't really want to.
It's a tough question.
It is a tough one, because you know what I'm going to say. It's going to be. I don't really want to say, "Oh, I'm going to thrash you like that," but I think you guys are probably expecting it to be like, "Oh, Liverpool going to win like 3 or 4-0, something like that." Yeah, I think it's going to be. Obviously, I can see us winning, but football's a funny game. Like I said, Newcastle last season got 2 points out of us. But this season, we're absolutely thriving. Salah, Trent. I mean, if we got a draw, I mean, I'd be good. I think we need to get a win. I can't see anything else but a win. I'm sorry to say it on your channel, mate, but I think...
Oh, it's okay. It's okay.
I hope you do give us a good game, and I hope you do turn things around in this Christmas period. I really hope Eddie Howe, puts it in there and really gets that confidence going. But I just see it being... It have to be realistic. I think it'd be really, really tough for you. It will be really, really tough. And like I said earlier, you'd be trying to keep the men in form. Mane's, the Salahs, the Trents in particular. He's bombing down the field. He's playing as this midfielder. You have to keep tabs on him and everything. So that's going to be an Andy Robertson. So it's you've got everyone all over the park coming up forward, and no one's in our team sitting back. We're going straight forward. It's hard to get the ball off us, and crosses are flying in, key passes, and it's going to be a very, very tough game. That's the thing. It's going to be very, very tough, and you could have a very long game ahead of you. Is it like Wednesday night or something, or Thursday night?
Thursday night.
Yeah, it's going to be a very, very long game. So if you, for the first 25, 30 minutes, can keep us quiet, that's a good thing. If you can keep it 0-0, 25 to 30 minutes into the game, that's good for you. That then you probably got a good foot up. Good. In the game, should we say? Good. So, but it will be tough, mate. It will be tough, and I can't see anything else but a win for us. But I hope you do give us a good game. But I think Eddie Howe, this will be a game for him where I think he will probably tinker around with his team again. He's got his Newcastle team. He'll know it'll be a very tough game. He'll want to keep the Anfield faithful quiet and everything, and that's what everyone wants to do. They want to keep them quiet, frustrate the home fans. And I think he'll do that. Like I said, 25, 30 minutes in the game, you keep it 0-0, you're probably going to give us a really good game. You could give us a game where it won't be a 3-0 win for Liverpool. It could be, maybe if we did still win, it could be a 1-0 win for Liverpool. You could frustrate us. So that's
like you say there, like touching on what you said, obviously we'll have to look at the likes of Salah, Mane, players that are in form. Like you say, Trent Alexander-Arnold, he's going to be doing them runs down the side. That's going to be up to the likes of Jamal Lewis, I believe it is, to be on that wing if, of course, he plays in the game. But he has played 2 games already. Of course, the game, against Leicester was completely unchanged aside from the win against Burnley. We'll go into it, we've just got to have the right mentality. Like you say, we've just got to, look at this game is what it is, to be honest. At the moment, it's pretty much got a loss written all over it. So we've got to change that. We've got to look at it more in trying to get something out of it, at least a point. If we can get, 3 points, then absolutely brilliant. But it's just going to be one of them games that does have loss written all over it at the moment, especially with, the way that the defence is at the minute with the club. We do need replacements, and we're only going to get them replacements, when it gets to that January window, which at the moment we're just chugging along until that January window comes to be able to get them replacements in that we do need to strengthen the team and push away from this horrible relegation fight that we've found ourselves in yet again. But we're experienced in this side of things. We're experienced in these relegation fights after the 14 years under the previous ownership. In the course, we're are going to be able to take that on. And with a guy like Eddie Howe, like you say, he's a experienced manager, which we've seen that quite obviously, with the way he managed Bournemouth, and took them all the way from League One all the way up to the Premier League. And, the way he's been managing Newcastle since he's come in as well, we've only lost to, the top clubs like Arsenal, Chelsea. That's the first loss tonight against somebody that wasn't one of them teams, against Leicester. And I'm quite happy with the way performances are going at the moment. If we can, of course, get into that January window, then we'll have every chance of surviving in this Premier League this season. And that is pretty much, the aim of the game. I put it out in a video I did, just I think it was a week ago or something. I did a video about it, saying, can Eddie Howe keep Newcastle up? And, I'm pretty confident that he can. He's got the skills to. Like you say, he's going to be tinkering with the squad come the game against Liverpool. That's only obvious. With the way Liverpool set themselves up, we are going to have to look to be defensive, but we're also going to have to look to hit on a counter, be quick on that counter, use with strengths like Maxi, Miguel Almiron as well. use players like that, to be able to be quick on the counter, get into, Liverpool's half fast, and get the easy chances, if you will, to score the goals. But it is going to be a tough game. It's not going to be easy, like you say. If we can get that foothold in the game for 20, 30 minutes, do like we did against Arsenal, 45 minutes, 0-0. If we can do that against yourselves, then there's every chance of coming away from this game with a positive result. But I'll get your score prediction, Calvin, mate, and then, of course, we'll just end off the stream here about 26, 27 minutes. So what is your score prediction for the game on Thursday?
Without being so biased,
go ahead, mate. It's at the end of the day, that's why you're here.
I mean, I'm going to probably say 3 or 4-0, but I hate to say 4-0, but we did it to Southampton. I'm going to just say it, 4-0 Liverpool. But I think you'll give us. I hope you do give us a tough game for your sake, so you're not just watching the whole game and you're like, oh god, here we go. But I think it will be a big win. A lot of goals for us. I think about 4-0.
Oh, I hope not. Well, I'm going to be realistic. I'm not going to go out there and say some crazy score prediction like Newcastle's going to come away from this one 4-0 or 3-0 winners against Liverpool. I'm going to be realistic on this, and I'd be happy to say it'll push a 1-1 draw if we can. A 1-0 win against Liverpool. I'd be happy to take that, get a 1-0 win against us and come away from Anfield with the 3 points. But I'm edging more towards a draw for this game. I think that would be more suitable for the way things are going forward at the moment. To be honest, it's probably going to be, like you say, a very one-sided game. Liverpool's probably going to be scoring the goals. And I hate to say that as a Newcastle United fan, but, you've got to go with the punches at the end of the day. And that's the way this game really looks like it could go, especially after the result tonight against Leicester, losing 4-0. It's not great. The players are going to be deflated heading into that game against Liverpool. But I'd like to thank you for coming on the channel, Calvin, mate, and Merry Christmas as well, and a Happy New Year to you as well. I hope you have a brilliant Christmas, and hopefully we can get you on the channel for the review as well. If you're free to come on for that one, I'll have to say if I'm free as well to come on to do that one. But hopefully we can. Again, thanks for coming on the channel. It's been a pleasure talking to you, and good luck with your channel as well. I know you've been getting quite a few subscribers of late, pushing up there. So hopefully you'll get quite a few more. And like I say, Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and cheers for coming on.
Oh, cheers, mate. Thank you for inviting me on, and Merry Christmas, Happy New Year to you too, and everyone that's watched this as well. To everyone that's watched this, subscribe to Carl's channel, and also like this video as well. But yeah, Carl, thank you so much for having me on, mate, and all the best for the Liverpool game, and all the best for the rest of the season as well. So hopefully you do turn things around and hopefully stay up Newcastle. So yeah, cheers, mate.
All the best, mate. See you. Bye.
See you later. Cheers,
Bye.
guys. Bye-bye.
Bye.